When I was a young man, I had a challenge of my own way of thinking that I didn't realize the problem that it created for some of the people around me until I was old enough to see the same challenge with my teenage son. Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast, 5-minute videos, 5 days a week. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. See, when I was young, I had a lot of ideas because I've always been a researcher, a learner. I'm always studying just outside of what's right in front of me. If there's a task that I'm assigned to, a project that I'm supposed to complete, I have a real hard time just looking at that one thing for its own face value. I tend to look just beyond that and what feeds into that and what causes that and what could be the result of that. And are there other ways of doing it that could actually make the final project better? I've been that way pretty much all of my life. I believe it's why I won the science fair overall and physics when I was still in high school more than once. I believe it's why I've been able to win in public speaking awards since I was in middle school and high school that made no sense because at the time it wasn't my area of focus, but it was a natural gifting. And the gift, a lot of it included searching outside the scope of what I'm doing. Now there's a lot of value in that. There's a lot of value in the gift that says I can't just settle on what's right in front of me. I really want to be able to understand what's around it. But sometimes that gift can be a challenge, especially for people who lead you who don't think like that. See, I didn't recognize that until I watched my son when he was playing football, and he really wanted to help the players around him. He would, in his own mind, he understood his assignment, he knew what he was supposed to do, but he also understood the assignment of the people on either side of him. And when he saw them making a mistake on a double team or the way that they were going after a tackle or the way that they were blocking, he would try to help them. And some of the coaches were like, we just need you to focus on what you're doing and let everybody else alone. You do your part, we'll coach them. I can see both sides of that, to be honest with you, because I'm more like the one who says, let me help you be better at what you do. Even if it means I sacrifice what they expect of me, I want to help everyone else be better at what they do. And the challenge for that, when leadership kind of sees you in a very specific silo, is that they have a hard time putting you in the right place. It's hard to put a round peg in a square hole or a square peg in a round hole. And if the peg is constantly morphing into something else, taking on different roles, looking like something different every time you see it, it's really hard to figure out what hole to put it in. At some point, leaders look at someone like myself or my son, and there are thousands of us out there who lead and think like I do. They kind of see us like that guy in the airplane with the luggage trying to put it in the overhead bin, and you're thinking, did he ever play that game? You know the little kids game where you put the round object in the round hole and the star object in the star hole and the square object in the square hole, and then when you get them all in, you win? Or did they only see him with the hammer trying to smash them all into the hole? Because trying to put that suitcase into that overhead compartment is not working, and trying to put me into a place where there's only one way to define success or one way to define leadership, that's hard. Now, I've tagged my friend Mike Arnold on here because Mike and I, for, close to 25 years now, have done business and ministry together. We've traveled across the United States and the state of Texas together. We had a chance to travel the world. He's in Nigeria right now. I didn't get a chance to go, just didn't work out for me financially. But soon I will be in Nigeria with him. But our ideas are always like iron sharpening iron. There's a lot of sparks when we think, a lot of sparks when we converse, because neither one of us lets the other one settle into a lazy comfort zone. We constantly challenge each other, sometimes to the point that we leave with a headache or what may seem to other outsiders as an argument. But one of the points that we both agree on, and his illustration I think was best, and I've continued to use it for almost 15 years. He said, it's easy to show up at the birthday party as a little kid with that gift in the bag. And you realize that gift is the one that you picked out for your best friend because that's what you would want. Now, if you know your best friend well, what he wants and what you want, or what she wants and what you want, they're almost the same thing, and that's really cool. But if you pick out that gift and you go to the party and you keep the gift yourself, you've robbed your friend. If you've picked out that gift and you go to the party and your real celebration is that everybody in the room realizes you bought the best gift, then you've betrayed your friend. And if you go to the party and you open up that gift and you realize, I bought a gift that I like, but my friend doesn't like, then you've simply cheated your friend. But there's something about taking the gift to the party and realizing it's not about me. It's not about everybody saying, oh, look how awesome that gift is. And it's not about me impressing my friend. It's about meeting their needs where they are and giving them what they want. Now, I'm going to take all of those elements together and say all of that describes Leading Leaders Podcast in this way. I still do a whole lot of research outside the scope of what people expect of me. In fact, many of my coaching clients have said, I had no idea that you would go as deep in so many areas when I hired you. I thought I hired you for this. Most people only know me from the world of AV. Yes, we do lights and sound and cameras and all that kind of stuff. And yes, I still MC weddings and my son still DJs weddings and we provide all the equipment for that. And yes, all of those things are in the repertoire of what I do, but I also study scripture. I also study leadership and psychology and coaching practices and business development. And I have a 10-year background in corporate marketing and in sales. And when I work with clients, it's not one of those things, it's all of those things. How do I bring all of that to bear for your success? For me, that's showing up with the gift in the bag that's relevant to you. And for that reason, I'm very selective about who my one-on-one clients are, who my small group clients are, who are the 12 or the 3 that I hang out with and invest the most in. And in the meantime, I continue to provide all the insights and wisdom and nuggets of knowledge and revelations that I possibly can, free of charge, to anybody who wants them right here on Leading Leaders Podcast. It is why I do this. But there's also one other reason why I do this, and that is that it's an assignment. In the same way that my son was assigned to be a linebacker or to be a right guard, the assignment is stick at the task. Until you're told to do something else, stick at the task. And I was told to do this, and I haven't been told not to do this. And I don't care if there are 5,000 followers or 5 followers or 500,000 followers. I'm cool with any of the above. But when I have the chance to sit down one-on-one, I'll deliver the gift for that one, personalized for that one, that's intended for that one in that moment when it's their turn to receive the gift. And I'll bring everything to bear that I've researched outside the scope of this assignment. Until then, I'll continue this assignment until I'm told to do something different. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom.